Hello everyone, Butley here with Patch like usual. Say hello,
Yep.
Patch.
No.
No, not gonna happen. We are back playing Tactics Ogre again. We are plowing forward. This is the obligatory reference to going to meet Lancelot. And last time we just met who we're looking at now, RSL, we've dubbed her. She's joined the team because she was distraught that we may or may not have committed the massacre at Balmamusa and murdered her brother. But
Quite frankly, who would have thought a guy called Lancelot would somehow turn out to be a bad guy?
Well, there's a good guy and a bad guy. Do you think they're trying to say something about the struggle between good and evil?
What? No, both Lancelots are evil.
What? But one has an eye patch, one doesn't. Surely only
And one
is the
betrayed King
evil
Arthur,
type.
come on. Anyway.
So today we're just playing forward through that. We're going into another interesting battle. We'll have a quick look at him in a sec. Changing the team round. Team will get slightly larger over time. We're going to have to start investing in new units. I can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but there are certain points where I think we will need to get a lot more staff. And we meet Genzo, swordsman. Actually,
Well, that's a hell of a title. He didn't even get a last name or the Great. He's just a swordsman.
the swords. It's like RSL who we met. It was like
The Thunder Maiden.
Thunder Maiden. Genzo on the other hand, nah.
He doesn't even have a generic model, so he's sort of special, but at the same time.
I don't even know if I think I didn't profile him. I probably should have because he might have been a new class, or it might just be a rogue. I'm not sure.
If he's like a new sword class, I would totally hire him, but if he's just a rogue, I'd kill him.
I don't know. Maybe we hover over him and have a look. It'll tell us if he's a new class. I'll know where to look.
Here's hoping.
Dun, 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 dun. And you might have noticed by this time that one time I did the little chart in the bottom corner of the team. I continued doing that, but I keep forgetting to put it up during the video. I have to like manually stop playing for 5 seconds and click a few buttons. Obviously me and editing videos is not a good talent I have yet. I've been practicing though. Did another exercise that'll expand my skills.
Maybe it'll make it to the internet.
I'm gonna let you guys screen it before I put it on the internet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You might even start watching it and just really dislike it.
I don't know, I kind of dislike anything that I'm in.
Well, you're definitely in this.
Oh, well then I don't like it.
So we look at the octopuses here. Yeah, it's not very well. It's edited, but not really edited. It's more like cropped together than edited, but it's a start.
Yeah.
As I've said, this is like the baby steps of my learning to edit. Just like this video that everyone's watching is my baby steps in learning to...
There you go. He's a ninja!
Oh, we haven't seen
Oh my
ninjas?
God!
Are you sure? How can we see him?
I
like that. Some things are best not knowing.
He's wielding 2 jittes, that's pretty bold.
So, I've mentioned once or twice, like say a tier list of classes. Ninjas are one of the best.
Ah,
And you'll see when he fights why, but I'll let you see that. But he's pretty awesome.
he has a lot of skills.
Well, we're getting to that point now, like, where a lot of these guys might almost have a full repertoire of skills, so that's good. A few of ours are
He's
getting...
got more skills than you.
Yep. Ninja is an amazing class.
That flying guy, he like walked along and then he jumped up into the air just so he could land in the water.
Fell in a puddle.
Yep.
Pretty sure
Looks
we
safe
try
from the air.
shaky recruitment strategies in this one as well. We actually got a pretty good, I guess, place. This is why I like this. So you look at the team comp, and their team is like huge damage and really tanky with the 2 octopus.
But they have no healers.
Yeah, it's just a real different style. Like, we've seen teams that heal and sustain and have a lot of archers and range, but a lot of these guys are going to get up close and personal, and it's just a different style of fight. That's really good, because you've got a use your team differently. We can't charge in. I don't need to send Canopus around the back to sweep up any mages or anything like that.
Yeah.
I like, that's why I like this game. There's so many fights and every one of them is unique, even if not because of the characters, just because of the composition of the armies.
Yeah, I think that's actually hugely interesting. Like, the amount of potential this could have, even just a random assortment of enemies with a small pattern can be vastly different, you know, to any other.
There is a point
just
later
saying
on where
random
you fight
encounters.
fairly random groups, so
Yeah.
you'll probably really enjoy that part of it.
Oh, I don't doubt.
But so we pot around. I don't think there's anything significant going to happen. Obviously, the fight, it's not the toughest fight. I've definitely been mentioning how tough each fight is. This one, it's difficult for its own way, but it's not as tough as some of the ones surrounding it. We've had some
You've
really
had worse
in fights, but we've got the higher ground, which excuse me, which immediately sort of sets us in the right position. I like having the rampant aura on Voltaire. He gets out the front there and can block a lot of stuff, and with the water we can sort of block the channels, which is what me and Johannes do and things like that. So you see, like, there's no way up that waterfall. I think the octopus can go up there, but even then we can block them. There's a tail behind it. I don't know how many items they have and how they use them. I'm not sure. Like, what determines? No, I haven't got any items left or anything. Fortunately, the items don't recover as much as damage you can deal.
Yeah.
I sent Canopus out here to help protect RSL because we don't control her. She's going to run off and do her own thing. And she's, as we've seen, she's quite aggressive. She likes going and killing things.
That's what I like in an archer, going in.
And this is why Quechua is not a cleric, she's a priest, so she can use offensive spells, whereas our clerics can't learn offensive spells. Which is like
I don't know,
awesome.
I'm pretty offended by the spells.
How do I... It's just awesome. It's like, how do I get priest? It's like, yeah, you can't. At least I don't know if you can. So there's classes that, like, you get to the end game and you still haven't seen yet if you play certain ways. There's a certain class that's amazing, but I basically never get to use it because I kind of just get to the point where I just want to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how many classes there are. It might be like 30. There's heaps. Excuse me. Still sort of sucking down some coffee because that's what I do to keep me going.
Yeah, I can never hear that.
Good.
So
I'm glad it's not
Don't
disgusting
worry about
everyone
that
out there. Me going.
I don't know, do you hear me drinking water?
No.
Well then.
Good shot. You shot our knight and you didn't deal any damage. I'm not sure what's worse, the fact that you shot our team or the fact you deal no damage. Poison Cloud is amazing here. So I decided not to do it. No, I just position better.
Need to move, yeah.
See, it's like I put him in harm's way, but I didn't, because how are they going to get to him? They have to go around that rock now.
Yeah.
Poison is really... When I first played, I barely used it, but it's really underrated. Just that extra 30 or 40 damage it deals over so many turns. It's really good against these big tanky, like most of the beasts and creatures that aren't human. It's really good.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, even if it gets healed, like it takes a move or it takes an item, it takes a move away from someone else, so it's almost worth it.
Well, you said, you know, there are different strategies. And poison works with your current strategy in that you have a lot of healers and a lot of tanky people, so you drop poison and you let them slowly burn over time while you just sustain.
Right, and it's
really
like the
fades how you
healer
play.
will heal 40 or 45 health every turn, but if he's poisoned, eventually he'll have to take one of those turns to heal himself. So,
Yeah.
like you say, you get an extra turn out of that for nothing. And if you can poison multiple people like I just did, then yeah, that's essentially 2 turns wasted trying to fix that. So you're exactly right. And Johannes is going to have a bad day. He's not very tanky, and he hasn't quite got to the point where he's a huge offensive threat yet. He'll get there, but because I started the Barbarian a lot later than I started the 2 Knights, Quechua is ripping that guy apart, thank God. And he's got false strike, which I believe makes him deal less accurate hits, less chance of hitting,
Oh
or
well.
less damage. But fortunately, that beast is almost gone skis.
Oh, not Anazebia.
Yeah. The naming's funny. There's like naming conventions for each type of like non-human animal.
Yeah.
Like I think it was the golems or something. They were all like they sound almost like old Greek names, but not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
alien Greek style. They must have picked ancient type of races.
It'd be
or
things
languages.
like Demiocles and
Yeah.
things
I
like
think the other
that.
one was like Lycanos or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's I think that's maybe Norse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they've picked like areas and maybe other languages and loosely translated to use them.
Actually, never mind. It's probably Greek. Yeah, I think it's Greek-ish.
But it's interesting anyway. Just
Yeah.
another little thing that they didn't need to do, but they decided, yeah, it'd be cool if our beasts had a theme, a naming theme. Here's the challenge every time. Got to decide if I'm going to heal with my knights or not. Also, like RSL here, she decides I could take the finishing blow, but dealing 5 damage is beneath me. I'm gonna do a shot for 40 damage.
Not only that, she keeps moving forward.
Oh yeah, she's definitely offensive. That's why I said I sent Canopus out there, because I need to draw the fire. Having said that, I don't know if I move him this time. Sort of just posturing at this stage. But that's why I love this game. Like, I could narrate through all of the fights, because they're all really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Here we go, we get to lay down more poison damage. Hey, what I probably should have done is use Bouchard to deal more dark magic, because he's the more powerful mage at the moment, and got Fried's who's our Anna, she has a poison mist as well, which is a water element. You'll start to see why I chose a water element over the next few sort of episodes, because as she grows a few levels, she starts getting some really cool skills that shows how good water is. I mean, water is exactly what you think. It's more sort of versatile, whereas fire is more offensive and things like that. So. And dark, like you've seen with paralytic wave and poison and sleep and charm, it's more like disruptive. So it's cool that all the, I guess you call the styles or the arts of magic are all unique as well, which is cool. Well, unique or themed as well. Just me, fanboying over this game some more.
No, Donalto.
Yeah, I was not real happy about that.
I mean Donatello.
Donatello.
I gotta say the names wrong.
I think I actually might chariot this, because I see what happens is, again, we have this guy and I'm thinking recruitment, go. It's a winged guy, I could recruit him. So I have to roll back so many turns, it's really disgusting. See, if I was smart and I knew editing things, I would just cut out this part. But it's a lot more effort. And as I mentioned, I am still early in learning how to edit things, so it's baby steps. Mind you, speaking of early things in development, I was gonna ask you about your thoughts on virtual reality, another technology that everyone loves right now that really hasn't been mastered yet, but is still
It's a waste of time.
Oh, that's it. We're done. We don't have to talk about that at all.
End of video.
End video.
No, okay. So, virtual reality in the context of an FPS game is completely impractical, because you'll get motion sickness sitting still and moving around and having to swing your head around, or worse, if you don't swing your head around, if you just sit there and you move sticks and the screen moves, that'll just kill you, give you a headache and eye issues, and it's just not. I haven't tried it, but I just know it's not going to be great. And largely because for it to be properly immersive, your footsteps need to be the things that move you in the game. It can't be things it can't be controllers moving you and stuff like that. Or it's just jarring.
I haven't played it either, but I can't imagine it being dissimilar to, say, riding on a theme park ride.
Yeah.
But the problem
sort of is.
Like, say you're on a roller coaster. At least then your eyes are open and, you're breathing and you're like, there's no, like, unknown factor. I feel like if you've got the headset on and you're not really, like, I don't know, seeing and your other senses aren't really, like, probably like you're saying, you're not hearing, you're not seeing. Well, you kind of are, but not all your senses, and your body would be, like, worried because all the senses aren't working in tandem like that.
Yeah, it'd certainly be a bit strange. There is one exception I could say to that, and that would be, there's some groups, what they do is they get a big, like, warehouse, and they make it like a virtual reality environment. So you put the headset on, and you have, like, a gun, like a toy gun, and it's sort of like laser tag, except with invisible, with projected enemies, and it tracks all your movements. So it feels like you're actually in a virtual environment. You can't see.
But are you moving?
You can't, Yeah, you are. You're walking around. You can walk around fully. The one that I've seen is like a full zombie game where you work as a team to kill all the zombies in this warehouse. And because they've got the big open warehouse space, they can, like, program in walls and things. So it looks like to you that you're walking through tunnels and mazes and things, but it's actually just this big open warehouse.
Would you get worried about, I don't know, God, it would take some suspension of belief to, like, say you walked into someone, like, wouldn't that,
yeah.
I know that you would see it, so you technically, like, wouldn't, but it would trip me out, like, nobody's business.
Here's the thing, though, you can do that on a really immersive level. Like, what you could do is you could have what looks like a walkway, and all you've done is you've chopped out the floor, like, a couple inches deep, and put a metal grating over it, and then beneath that metal grating, you've got, like, air, like little air compressors, and when someone walks over it, like, sprays them with air, so it feels like they're walking on a steel grate over a bridge. And in the virtual reality world, they could see, like, a narrow bridge platform. And something like that could be really cool and kind of immersive. But, wow, only 10% chance? What the hell is this?
I think the problem with that, I thought about this. It might be because he's, like, Galgastani. The other guys we were trying to recruit were mercs, I think, and so I think there is an inbuilt loyalty, so I was a bit disappointed, considering how much effort I went to keep him alive for this one turn to try and recruit.
Yeah. Well, there is one other thing for virtual reality, if we're done with talking about first person, because I really don't think first person works. First person I just think is outright doomed to fail due to not being able to move and it just being less practical than using anything else, like a controller or a mouse.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just, maybe, like, is there any application we could see it working?
Definitely.
The one
I can see
that I heard that was, I think, at E3 was the whole Star Trek bridge thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's an environment, because you're not physically moving. Well, I guess you are, but not really. Like, I doubt you're, like, running across the bridge or anything. You're just sitting at your chair pressing buttons, and that's not so bad.
Well, the one thing I think that could really work... Jesus.
Just healed.
Get out of the back lines.
Yeah, now I can go forward again. God damn it.
So, the one I think that could really, really work is strategy games. So, have you ever played a game called Battlezone 2?
No. Maybe? No.
Battlezone 2 is an FPS RTS, and so is Battlezone 1, but I've only played Battlezone 2.
Right.
In it, one of the so everyone plays first person. One person is the designated commander. They manage the base building and things, and unit management. And one of the buildings they can build, they can go inside, they access the console, and it gives them a top-down view. And that's, and from then you can play it like a normal RTS, while everyone else, runs around in first-person mode. And that's fascinating. But what I'm basically saying is, not FPS, a virtual reality could really work with a down perspective over a battle zone, over a battlefield, as like a commander or something. being able to order troops around with hand motions, or just being able to see things from above. That's where virtual reality could really actually play a part. Because you'd be able to see.
The question I have to say though, in that regard though, I guess this is, it's hard to discuss, but so you top-down view in a fighting game, or like say a strategy game, and you're moving things around. How would the virtual reality aspect of that be any different to just using a mouse? I mean, apart from the fact that there's a physical mouse as opposed to just waving your hand, like it's exactly the same. Am I understanding? Like,
no, I agree. So the problem is,
it's an element of it. It's like, well, it's cool that we can do these things, right? But are they better? Are they, like virtual reality from a FPS, like a shooting perspective or a first-person perspective, is unique because you don't get that experience when you're looking at a screen, looking from a perspective within a screen. And so I can see why that is so desired, I suppose. But a strategy game would be cool. I would love to do it. I'd love to not have a mouse and not have a head. Just put this one thing on and it'd be awesome. But would it be different? Not really.
You know what I'm probably thinking more of is like holographic technology. Playing little like holograms on a table or something.
Yeah.
And that'd be novel. But yeah,
imagine playing really like Civilizations from a top-down view, and you just like everything's like on your interface. So you touch this, you touch that, and it brings up screens. Like it'd be like some real like movie sort of stuff, like James Bond sort of. Yeah. Swipe your hand across to move the screen, and like that sort of thing would be cool. But I don't think it would change. Like that's not something I think will be a big deal until all this technology is cheaper, because it doesn't change the experience that much. I think practically it's all just a gimmick. Right. And that's probably the point I was thinking when I thought of this topic is, and how I led into it, I guess. Like this is still this is technology in its infancy, so it needs to grow. It's not quite really practical to use it on the levels that we want to use it, so we really aren't there yet in terms of finding the right uses and having it affordable enough to do the things that it could do really well. Yeah. It's not, and I'm not saying it as a warning, like don't go get it, or I'm not saying it's good, it's bad, it's stupid. Well, yeah, it's probably not worth general people just getting it yet. Let companies faff around with it for a bit and give it a few years. That's my main thing. We're just sort of discussing, but it's just not quite there yet as a technology. Well, the problem is I don't see, even if it was in a good state, an affordable, well-programmed state, I don't see like an environment that it would see use. Right now, all I see it for is basically rail shooters, some like puzzle games, some horror games, and most of the games are like gimmicky, stand still, turn your head around things. Like you're not meant to move. Right. And as soon as your body has to physically move in the game, that's where it starts becoming a problem, right? Yeah, what I've really seen a lot of is in games, what they have is they have like a little indicator, and what you do is you'd like point to the spot and it teleports you there. Instead of actually physically moving. See, and that's sort of a real disappointment. Yeah. So. Fair enough. I just thought it was an interesting thing to bring up because you're right. You're exactly right. Like, we can see what we want to do with it, and we can't quite do that. And we see what we could do with that, but it's kind of not worth it for that. So we're kind of this in between where the technology's there, but it doesn't really enhance our experience yet, apart from being novel. I mean, okay, here's a good way to sum up this topic. Can you tell me one game that you would like virtual reality? Oh, what I was going to do, if we had more time, I was going to do an exercise where we go through games that we play and talk about if they could be done. So, like Civs, could you do that virtuality? Yes. Could you afford to, like, would it be affordable? No, like it wouldn't change the experience enough to justify how much it would cost. But you could play Civs. That's the thing is,
could you, and is it worthwhile? Does it change the
Right.
experience meaningfully?
Tactics Ogre,
And-
no, because you do exactly the same thing with the mouse or controller anyway.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you could, see, this is sort of how I see like a strategy game. Why I brought up strategy games is if you could stand up and walk around and get a different perspective by walking around the table, so to speak, or the battlefield, and looking at it from different angles, kind of like, you know, a chessboard,
Yep.
then that would be kind of interesting.
You're
And you
talking
could do that
more
for
like-
Tactics Ogre.
You're talking more
Yeah.
like Supreme Commando,
Holograms,
or say
yeah.
Empire
Yeah.
Total War, things like that,
Yeah.
where you've got pieces all over, and yeah, they're a lot broader. I understand that. We're sort of pausing because we know we're on the wind down.
Yeah, so that's my conclusion is, can you think of a single game that would be improved with virtual reality?
I'd like to
And-
hear it. A lot of videos on the internet are like, say hi in the comments, and yeah, like if you guys are watching this, yeah, we'd love to hear that sort of stuff. I'm generally curious. I love technology. I'm weary of it, and more weary of like how much are we faffing around for not real any benefit. And VR is
Yeah.
sort of like that now. I think motion controls, they were great, but have they added that much all in all? Not really. We had to like
No.
build specific games, new games to fit them. We didn't really take our current games and make them better with motion controls. And that's what I'm like with virtual reality. I don't think we're going to take current games and make them better. So, as Patch said, if you can think of anything, like, let us know the sorts of things that are cool. And
Yeah.
we'd love to hear that sort of stuff, and we'll definitely chat about it. We obviously love waffling about this sort of stuff, so... Anyway, thanks a lot for your time, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Hey,
Bye.
see ya.